I was asked to be on this panel, but due to daylight hours, I could not attend. Also, because it's a live panel, the sound is not up to our usual standards, but we thought you might like listening to some of the Angel folks hanging out and chatting.
And a hush fell over the crowd. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Sunnydale High. How's everybody doing today? We having a good time? Excited to be here? Awesome. So my name is Kaylin Ashley. For those of you who don't know me, I am a special effects makeup artist, and I was on Face Off season 7 and 11. Thank you very much. And one of the reasons why I get asked to be here is because Buffy the Vampire Slayer is why I do prosthetic makeup. It is a huge love of mine, and so as a fan, I want to give back to you guys and back to the show, and now I get to introduce the cast of Angel. This is going to be an Angel Q&A. We're going to try to leave some questions for the end of the panel, and so let's go ahead and take it away. Introducing as Lila, Stephanie Romanov. Welcome to the stage, Stephanie. Next up, we have Keith Szarabajka as Holtz. And next up, you know him as Lindsay. Let's go ahead and give a round of applause for Christian Kane. And last but certainly not least, we have our co-creator and showrunner for Angel. We have David Greenwald. Thank you guys so much for being here with us today. It is an absolute honor to be able to have a chat with you guys and get to know a little bit about your experience on the show. So with the built-in audience of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, what was it like coming into an established universe?
Okay, I'll start. To be honest, I hadn't really seen much of Buffy. I'd seen a few things, and I'd only seen Angel the night before I did my audition. And it was kind of awesome. I mean, you were in the auditioning room when I was there, right?
I tried to put the kibosh on her, but turned out she was great.
You tried to put the kibosh on me? Oh, like Lala, like no way, mofo. To answer your question, it was actually quite an honor. It was an established show that had been going on. It had been a movie, then was a show, and that I was gratefully given the role of Lila. It was wonderful, actually. It was a gift, and I mean, it's 20-something years, and you guys are here. Like, what a gift is that? Here's to all of you. So the answer is a major gift.
My thing was, Boreanaz and I were friends before Angel. I sort of knew Sarah, but, you know, we were all on the same network. I did a show called Rescue 77, and, well, thank you. Thank you for, y'all just showed your age. But the thing was that I went in and I tried to grab the role of Riley. And that went to my very good friend and one of the best souls in the business, Mark Blucas, and Mr. Greenwald here. He gave me the role of Lindsay McDonald on the pilot as sort of a, I guess, thanks for playing. And it turned into something that changed my life because of this man right here, so it was great.
I guess I should talk next. I came into the show not knowing anything about it other than I had seen Buffy, the movie, years before, because David Greenwald, who was the showrunner, had written this and was a showrunner for this wonderful show I'd been in with him in Vancouver called Prophet with Adrian Pasdar. And David asked me if I wanted to come on and be a vampire hunter. And I went, yeah. What do I have to do? And we went through a whole different thing. He was, well, it's going to be kind of like Van Helsing. And so we were talking about, should I have a Dutch accent and Eastern European accent? We tried a whole bunch of different ones, German. And then we finally settled on kind of a standard British received pronunciation. And it was really fun. For 200 years, I slept. For 200 years, I dreamt of nothing but this moment.
I'm so thrilled to be sitting up here with these talented people and make me look good. And I drive a nice car, too. Thank you very much. And before this one, and maybe some of you people were here, we love ecology, right? And Christian's character of Lindsay came back huge, and Stephanie, and we were in that Wolfram and Hart, world. Dynamic. And Keith was just fantastic, and ruthless and stuff. He had to ride a horse. But these two, and Daniel Day Kim and the wonderful Sam Anderson, they were so deliciously bad. And they were always at odds with each other so much. And it was just a whole new thing to the show. What was the original question?
I just want to say that working with Daniel Day Kim and Sam and Keith, it was such a, and obviously Christian, was, I mean, come on. But it was obviously such a gift, and we all had so much fun, and the writing and the stuff that you produced was just a dream, right? So, I'm so grateful. Glad you guys are here. Loved playing it. Thought you were a mean motherfucker.
See, I have to take objection to that.
You have to what?
I have to object to being characterized as a mean motherfucker.
I have to take an obsession to that.
Because I have to say that I never really thought of Holtz as a villain.
Well, no villain ever does.
No villain. Because, well, first of all, nobody acts out of a sense of doing wrong ever. That's my firm belief. And the other is that, okay, Angel, when he was Angelus, when he was bad, he killed my wife, he ate my infant child, and then turned my darling 11-year-old daughter into a vampire, forcing me to dust her. I cried during that scene, by the way. And the bad guy?
Yeah, he raises a very important point to me. The direction I've given most in my life is, why are you playing evil? You're not evil. Even Hitler thought he was doing great stuff, And
I was going to go there, but I'm not Jewish, so I couldn't say that.
I'm Jewish by injection.
Here, just take this microphone and stop stealing it from your boss.
So am I think. Well, I don't know.
microphone
My
to
wife
my
was
boss.
Jewish. Does that count as injection? It's sort of a reverse injection. Maybe it's osmosis.
And I'm not interested in, and thank God black and white doesn't mean anything anymore to me, but they're delicious parts when you're doing terrible things. But you always have a point of view, and a lot of actors prefer that to the so-called hero. Am I not right?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Heroes are boring.
They're just more interesting characters. They're more fun to play.
I'm about to compare Christian Kane to my lifelong buddy, Jeff Bridges. There are certain actresses, who are kind of self-taught. He didn't go to Uta Hagen or the whatever, but they come sort of like, I don't know, complete or something, and it's a unique kind of approach.
That might be the best compliment I've ever got. Thank you very much. I'm serious. That's right.
This question is specifically for David. What was your process in developing Angel as a spin-off from going from Buffy into Angel?
Well, it was a wonderful process. Mr. Whedon walked into my office. He says, would you like to spin Angel off into its own show? And I was like, yeah, I think I would. The first thing I said is, we got to bring Cordelia Charisma to that show, because that's going to be a dark, noir. Yeah, and long ball funny. In the previous thing we're talking about, you got to have danger and action and some violence and deep emotional romance and change. And you gotta have humor. Nothing is any good. I can't write a show without humor. And so we were given 12 on the air, because Buffy was a big success. And so Joss and I wrote the pilot, he directed it. Now the second script, written by David Fury, Buffy, obviously it's hell in high school. We all had hell in high school. But the 20s, there's not a big kind of moral or character or emotional arcs. Although David was the oldest actor ever on WB, he was 228 years old. So Fury turns in a script in which Angel lets the girl die. He's licking blood off the bathroom floor, and the studio and network lost their minds, rightly so. So we rejiggered it a little, but it's more like a Private Eye, a different kind of show. We had learned a lot on Buffy, and we just had so much fun. And again, the ecology. Somebody who's been in one episode. Well, what about that guy? And my favorite thing, Stephanie was just so beautifully awful. And
Beautifully awful as in my audition?
you had the part when you walked in the door, love.
No. Do you remember?
No.
Okay, let me interject. So here's me going into the audition. So I had never seen Angel. I hadn't seen Buffy because at that time I was working all the time. I didn't have time to watch it. But the boyfriend I was dating at the time was a huge Angel fan. And he's like, oh my gosh, you're going to audition for Angel. You got to get this part. I'm like, okay. And it turned out that night Angel was airing. So I got to watch it the night before I did my audition. And I don't know if you remember this, Lila was meant to do 3 episodes. That's it. So I go into the room, and it's all men, because that's what Hollywood is like. And, well, still kind of like, what of them? No, it's not a bad thing. If you would let me finish, mofo, which is how I got...
Boy, that's the pot calling the kettle black.
Which is how I got Lila that attitude, so I was...
Now you know what it was like off camera. Jesus.
So anywho, so I go in, I do my part, and I don't even remember who the first director was for Lila, but he literally, I'm not even joking, you gave me like 100 notes. Oh. Like my audition was so awful, and he listed all this stuff, and my natural nature, I was like, so do you want me to do all of that? And he's like, no. I was like, just kidding. And that's when I booked the role.
That's right.
So you guys touched on it a little bit, but I want to dive into it a little bit more. What was more fun, being good or being evil? A lot of you guys had character arcs that kind of shifted between the two, or from perspective, like you weren't the bad guy, just maybe doing some bad things. What was more fun to play?
Well, I was just asking Kristen, I'm like, were you ever good on the show? I don't remember Lila ever being good. It's an interesting question. There were moments of unexpected as an actor, because Lila, I definitely felt like true evil is seductive, true evil is unexpected, so I played her that way. And what happened to me, especially with the Wesley stuff and some stuff with you and I, that unexpectedly there were tender moments that came out for Lila. And I know I'm not Lila, and it even kind of shocked me. I'm like, oh my gosh, Lila has feelings. Oh my gosh. So that was beautiful, and it was beautiful to create, because we all have dark and we all have light, right? And I mostly was pegged to play this character as very dark and almost like a caricature of evil. And I was like, I don't know. I think evil is seductive. Evil draws you in little by little. Evil, and so that's how I played her. So your question, like good or bad, I never thought of her as good or bad. I knew she'd already sold her soul. She definitely was bad, but there were still elements of her human soul that came through at certain moments, and it even surprised me. I don't know if that answers your question.
I think it's a great answer.
You're welcome to clap now. Thanks. All right, Christian, what do you think?
Oh, wait, can I talk? No, okay.
Always.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to finish.
That's what my husband says.
Okay, I'm still waiting. See, I never thought of my character as evil. I know maybe you guys think that I'm crazy, but I always thought he was a righteous person doing a righteous thing, which can have evil effects on other people. But I think he was perfectly, justified in doing what he did. Just because you suddenly get a soul doesn't mean that you didn't do evil before, and that the people to whom you did evil to, it's not gone. It will always be there.
It's the company you keep. The thing is with the role that they created for me is that I got this a lot throughout some of the seasons, was the vampire with a soul and the lawyer with a heart. And they wrote so well for me, and I started playing into that. What they did was, like I said, the company you keep. They had Sam there. They had Lila. They had these other people. And Angel was a bad guy who turned good, but he was still evil. You know what I mean? Like in certain situations. If you take all the people that were around me, because everybody's like, oh, your character was so nice, and he tried to help, but he was just torn. Well, let's do that for a second. Let's take Sam Anderson out. Let's take her out. Let's take some other... No, I'm just saying, Lindsay's a prick. I mean, Lindsay's trying to kill people. You know what I mean? It's just that I let them shine being so evil, and I said, how am I going to stay on this show? Because I wanted to be on the show. And so I started taking a little step back and letting them be the evil ones and playing with the heart. And they really started writing for that as well. And so I said, when you get too evil, they just kill you, right?
Can I interject one thing? What he's not, because he's humble, you also were powerful. And he definitely displayed power. And then between he and I as characters, we had a power struggle, which off the set, we were like, woohoo, like let the best man, woman win. But that was how it was written, and we had a lot of fun. So I think you're leaving out that part of your character. Yeah. You were very powerful.
Oh, thank you so much.
I'm a huge fan of Christian Kane.
Thank you. But to his point, to wrap up that question, as an actor for me, I won't speak for them, it's so much more fun to play the bad guy than it is a good guy. There's so many more different colors you get to play. You don't have to just sit there and be these couple of colors because you're supposed to be good. You can run the gambit. I think that's why Leverage has been so successful. We're the good guys, but we're all the bad guys. Thank you.
Do you have a memory that kind of sticks out for you, having that experience on the show that you walk away from that you kind of keep wanting to retell?
Here's my thing. I don't want to get too long-winded on this. I was on a show full of superheroes, and I'm in a suit with my hand cut off, and everybody's flying around on cables, and every girl on that show, including you, Darla, everybody whooped my ass, and I was so sick of it. Oh, you punched me in the face. Ask them.
Punch him in the face. All right, how many times was I grabbed by the neck? A million times.
All right, so anyway, the point being was, I was going to make this quick, was the fact that I thought for sure after much time as I put into that and all that kind of stuff, they gave me a redeeming last season, but I thought I should have been there in the final fight. I was really upset for years and years and years that I wasn't standing there because I thought it would show that everybody, no matter what their problems were, no matter, where they came from, if they didn't like each other or not, they had one fight, and that was against that last fight. I'm not going to get into that, but I was mad the way I died. I was so mad, and I carried that for years. And then I'll be honest with you, once our dear friend Andy Hallett passed, I don't think I could have had a better death on that show, and I'm so glad that it was the ending for me, so yeah.
That's beautiful. Talking about having a prosthetic arm and like fake arm. As an effects artist, I always like to ask, this is a bit of a selfish question, what was the coolest monster that you guys got to kind of square off with or see or be in the room with that really stood out to you?
For me, the coolest monster was Angel himself.
That's right. That's good. Yeah, going back and forth from Angelus to, that's actually a good answer.
I think David B. had more fun as Angelus, too, like you guys are saying.
And he was more fun for us when he was Angelus.
Interesting. Yeah, well, I guess what was that experience like of having to work with an actor who was playing kind of a dual character like that?
Well, when I tried to kill him when he was Angel, everybody hated me. When he was Angelus, everybody goes, hey, you know what, maybe Lindsay's got a point.
So getting into kind of the legacy of the show, and obviously it still has such a huge impact after so many years. What has kind of the fan reception been like? What has it been to experience it with new generations?
I remember being at a convention in London. It was like early 2000s, and I remember this woman going, hey, it's Lindsay, and we were all signing autographs and stuff, and her little kid was like 6 years old, and the little kid ran up and goes, it's Lindsay, and it just started crying. And I'm like, first of all, I'm like, nice parenting. 6 years old, and you're letting them watch Angel. Well, that 6-year-old's 32 now, and she's out in the crowd.
Look at the babies that are here right now. Think what they're going to be doing in 20 years.
My favorite thing about the legacy, I meet all kinds of people, high, low, and in between, and occasionally some guy will say, "Oh, you did Angel?" I go, "Yeah." He says, "I watch that every single day in prison." And that's my favorite part of the legacy.
Wait, I have a question about that. Like, if someone says that to you, they feel compelled to tell it to you. So he must have said that it resonated in some way, and I'm curious what that story is.
I've heard that story more than once.
Just FYI, my brother was in and out of prison my whole life, so I have a very deep feeling for people who are in and out of prison. So that's also what kind of ran that question.
Oh, that explains so much. Thank you.
That's why I'm the best lighted person in my neighborhood, because my brother always said, I go for like the darkest houses. So I was feeling guilty that my house was so lit up. I'm like, am I going to get fined for having too much light noise? You know, what's that called? Say it again. Yeah, light pollution. I was like, you know what? My brother, lifetime criminal. And he was a small-time criminal, but it was Vegas. And, like, I have the most lighted house ever. So
She's
when I talk
bragging
about
so
prisoners
much.
and all of that, I have a lot of love and a lot of compassion for how they get there. But I also got a lot of really good advice from my brother. We're not all perfect, but we try.
So I wanted to give the opportunity to open up to the floor and get some fan questions, because I'm sure you'll have some questions that I haven't been able to ask. So
Lindsay doesn't die. Lindsay is getting his own spin-off show. What happens?
He's not going to look that great because they got to bring him back from hell. What does it look like?
as an effects artist, I love that. Keep it coming.
You know what, man? I got to be honest with you. When I came in to play the role of Lindsay in the pilot, the first episode, I should say, David called me into his office and showed me a show that you used to do, Prophet. And he showed me Adrian Pastor, his role. Said it's kind of like this and all that. And I really liked where it was going with that and stuff like this. And throughout the years, Lindsay obviously has evolved. But I would really love for you to answer that question.
Oh, I will. And this is a true story. Joss, Marty Noxon, and I, we used to talk about a lot of stuff in different shows. And I had an idea. It was called Master of Malibu. It was going to be this kind of loser sheriff in Malibu. And then that became a show called Austin, and they never got made. But at the height of my hubris then, I had more of that then, I called Dana Walden at Fox. I said, you got to make a deal with Christian Kane. We're going to put him in a show, and blah, 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 blah. And then I heard from my agent, you spoke to the studio head like that. And there was a basket and a note. But in terms of as that character, I think it's a great, very interesting character. And I think he would have stopped being a lawyer and maybe would become like a bounty hunter, sort of half good and not so good.
That bounty hunter.
Now,
Let's give us a
all
spin-off.
right, shut the fuck up. My
Stop mansplaining.
Yeah, well, somebody has to. My favorite thing with Christian, you guys remember the Andy Hallett character, and you had to sing to be. And my favorite thing, God bless him. By the way, the casting of Andy, as Joss was creating him and we were seeing people and stuff, it was always based on Andy, who was a personal friend of Joss and his then wife, Kai. And eventually we just said, cast him, he's the best, right? Anyway, you had to sing to see into your soul. And Angel was such a terrible singer, although you thought he was good. And then along comes Christian Kane, a professional singer. And I got to write a fabulous song for him that could be played later. And then Angel is like, well, that guy's terrible. And all the women are like, wow, he's fantastic. So lots of fun. And rest in peace, Andy. He never loved the makeup, but what a wonderful talent.
Beautifully said, even if I have to shut the fuck up.
My question is for Christian. Do you still have that truck?
What truck?
The truck that was in the series, Angel. Wasn't that your
Yeah,
truck?
listen, IMDb's never gotten anything right about me. That was never my truck. As a matter of fact, I was so scared of wrecking that truck because it was this guy's truck. He gave me one of the best pieces of advice I've ever gotten in my life, by the way, because I was rolling around and I was having to roll over Angel, and so I was rolling over like a log, and they all think that's my truck because it says that was his personal truck. And that's no. That guy told me, and I said, I'm so scared to wreck this truck. And he told me something. I'm going to leave you guys with this. He says, I own my possessions. They don't own me. And I've carried that with me my whole life, man.
Right? That's a great spiritual thing for all of us.
Ready? Hi, Stephanie. Robert of Coffin Radio. I had a question. You play this character, and then they introduced this romance that you have with Wesley. How did you take that news when you first got it that now you're moving into a romance?
I mean, it's a good question, and I definitely was like, that's interesting, because we'd had like 2 scenes together. So I didn't know, and I wasn't told, but it unfolded beautifully, and I have to say it was probably my favorite season in playing that, and I loved working with Alexis. I thought it was an interesting, I don't know how you guys feel, but did anybody expect that was going to happen?
No.
No, me either. So when they presented that to me, I was like, really? Okay. So it was, I have to say, I loved that season. I loved playing, because there was so much complexity for his character, for my character, for the people on Angel's side. You weren't there any longer, which is a bummer, because I wish you were always there. But it was...
I came back after you died.
So did I. But a wonderful question. I loved playing all of that, and I had a really good time with that. And it was unexpected and beautiful, because like I said, I was only hired for 3 episodes, and then it was 4 years.
Yeah.
Hey there. Just had a question. Y'all were mentioning Andy Hallett, and I was just curious if you wanted to share a memory from working with him, each and every one of you.
I'm going to tell you something that's going to make everybody in here feel really weird.
As if we don't feel weird already.
So I worked with Andy for about 2 years, 2 seasons. We were kind of off and on. We were never in the same room except for when you put us in the same room. I didn't know what the boy looked like. I'm dead serious.
Right,
for 2 years. He would come in so early to put makeup on, but he was already there. So he would already be in makeup when I showed up for just if we were in a scene together. And then when we got done, he had to take all of it off. And I was in my car. 2 seasons, I didn't know what he actually really looked like. And I started thinking, what is this guy? We didn't have social media. There was no, back then there was no Instagram where you see. So I could have seen, sometimes they would be like, oh, Andy's showing up. And I purposely wouldn't go. Because I loved looking at him in that makeup, which was brilliant, by the way, and wondering what he actually looked like. I didn't know his chin didn't look like that. I'm dead serious, man. Andy and I had traveled around the world, doing conventions and stuff. I've said this before. There was only 2 conventions. It was Star Trek and Buffy. That was it. Now it's very much mainstream and all that stuff. But so we were around. We've been to, I think, Australia, definitely Germany. And he would come out and sing England. He would come out and sing with us when we sang. That was such a happy time for me because he just brought joy everywhere he went, man. I miss him a lot.
Yes, and he's gotten up on stage and sung with very famous people and stuff. And he's just such a wonderful, one-of-a-kind person. But he did not like that makeup, and that can be tough on a person. And
in England, he'd always bring his mother to conventions. She was kind of cool.
Do we have another question from the audience? We have time for one more.
Yeah, so I guess keeping on the theme of Andy, this question's mainly for David, and then there's a side piece for everybody else. What
side piece?
Yeah, sure. Where'd you get the inspiration or the idea for the club Caritas and the ability to read people's fortunes through having them sing in front of him that Lauren has as a character? And then for everybody else, if you had a song you had to sing to get your fortune read by Lauren, what would you pick?
Great
Fantastic.
question.
Good question.
oh, well, Mr. Whedon. None of us are here without Mr. Whedon. Real genius, work ethic, kindest, most gentle, and a real gentleman who never took his crap out on anybody else, unlike other people I've worked for. But no, he had this idea, that, first of all, you get to have another club, right? And second of all, this demon can look into your soul. It's not tell your fortune, it's look into your soul, but you have to sing. It's like it's sort of funny and it's deep and it's emotional. And, Stephanie was talking about I'm here for X amount of episodes. It's just wonderful because they inspire us like, well, what if we did this? Or even when we're thinking about an episode, well, what about Lindsay? What about Stephanie? What about Keith? It's not it's we, this kind of stuff. And to me, that's half the fun of the
May
whole deal.
I add in a little bit? I'm not trying to talk too much. But I loved the whole storyline with him and the singing and the way what you were speaking about going into your soul. And they never invited Lila to do it. I was like, are they afraid of my soul? Because I definitely wanted to go to that club and I never got to go. But I did know Andy, and I did know him without makeup. And he was such a kind, beautiful soul and so, so talented. And I love him, and I think about him often. And I'm sad he's not here anymore, but I'm grateful I got to spend time with him.
I did get to blow up his club. That was fun.
I couldn't hear you.
I did get to blow up his club.
Oh, you got to blow up his club. I thought you said I got to blow him.
That's a whole different story.
Well, that's what I thought.
The second half of his question I thought was really brilliant. Is what song would, and we can end with this because I know it, but what song would we all sing if we wanted Lauren to look into our soul?
Something by Warren Zevon. Maybe, what's that one?
Werewolves.
Something Under the Eaves. And the end of that song, he says, in the air conditioner hums, it goes, and it turns into this great song about down Gower Avenue, and it kind of turns into a spiritual. But Zevon is the man, so, yeah.
I actually did sing a song, and he saw into my soul in the show. I sang, sleep, my love, and peace attend thee all through the night. Guardian angels, God will lend thee all through the night. I won't make you suffer through the whole thing, but he saw into my soul.
That was beautiful. I have to say, I hadn't thought about it, but I did definitely hope that they would bring me into the club and that Lauren would do that song or do a song. So you were asking, what song would it be? Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Bad to the bone. Bad. But I love Lauren, and I love Andy Hallett, and I'm so grateful that you guys are still bringing him up and we're talking about him. He was a beautiful soul, incredibly talented, and he did, to your point, suffer through a lot of weird makeup.
As long as people are talking about you, your soul is still alive.
Woo, Andy!
The song is called Desperation Under the Eaves by Zevon, and that song,
All right. Well, I will tell you my song. It's Jolene by Ray LaMontagne. And I'm going to sing it tonight, and you guys can all look into my soul. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I think that is all the time we have for today. Thank you guys so much for answering all of our questions.
Scooby-Drew, did you replace my painting with this super cool print of the Ennis house? It's not the Ennis house. It's Angelus's mansion, my home for a while. Suited me well. Who gave it to you? Drawn with knives. Is that one of your funny asides? No, silly Billy. It's from Jennifer, my friend at Drawn with Knives. Why is it called that? She draws all of her artwork with a knife. It is dark and beautiful magic. She's a new sponsor. So the Angel Mansion print comes in either 5x7 or 11x15. go to drawnwithknives.com. For Re-Vamped, there is a 25% discount code for the next 2 weeks. Use Re-Vamped, all caps, unlike our title, no dash, Re-Vamped, all caps, for 25% off. Well done, Drew. Not only am I a polydimensional superstar of entertainment, I'm now a titan of business too. Vengeance Val was the victor in our first inaugural Battle of the Uber Buffy fans. If you would like to challenge her title and be considered as a contender for this season's battle, please email revampedpod@gmail.com. Yes, be sure to include your name, where you weigh in with your number of watch-throughs, where you're located, something interesting about you or something you think would be good to share,
And your social media handles.
Yes, woohoo. Woohoo. Boop boop be Drew. Re-Vamped, please correspond with me on our Patreon page, Revamped with Juliet Landau, on Twitter, @Juliet Landau, on Instagram, @Juliet_Landau, and on the Fans of Juliet Landau Facebook group, or Juliet Landau official Facebook page. Patreon peeps to be read in the credits: Dave Hall, Fonnie June Kendall, Daniel Harbour, Louise Brennan, Brandon Key, Cameron Burton, Donnie Ruskin, Madeline Pruitt, Marion Stevenson, Antonio H. Gutierrez, and Bobby Pelham. It makes all the difference because we cannot keep making the show without you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Until we meet again.
See you next time when we do it again. Do it again. Until then, rewatch, revamp, reinvent, and be remarkable you.